Hey guys, this is the third part of the three-part tutorial of creating fire with FumeFx. If you haven't seen the other two parts, do go ahead and give it a watch. Since this is a continuation, I'll be putting the links down in the description below. Now I don't want so many particles. Let's reduce it to about 5,000. 5,000. And next what we can do is, I don't think we really need our force. Let's turn that off. I think that is why our particles are going a lot in that direction. Let's go ahead and in our lock bond we can play around with a few of the settings. Let me see and change our force to about 50 seems good. If I add more speed to it, say 1,000, yep, our particles are reaching its target. So let's make it about 400, but as you can see our particles are being somewhat spread out here. So let's go ahead and increase our force. To about 70, and we need to find a correct sort of a median between the two where it does not really jump out like this. So I can change the speed by which our particles are really attracted. We can change the acceleration limit. This is obviously too much. Probably about 2,000, 4,000, but our force is just too much out here. Alright, we want our lock our force to the surface to be much more, but our fine target force is taking it to another level. So I think 1,000 seems to it shouldn't be much more than that. That is why if I increase the speed a lot, it will just go in any direction. So for now what we can do is, let's have our particles just running through this part. And let me reduce the force down a bit to about 70. You can see a particle has escaped. We don't want that. Let's make this bigger. And what we can do is, when our particle is less than 1.5 or 6 works. So you can see that our particles are not going outside our fine target. Let's reduce our speed down to about 200. Let's make this along our icon arrow, which is in this direction. We can change it, and where is RPF source 003, we can find that which is oops, the RPF source 003 is here, and what we can do is, if we can rotate it in this direction, we can see our particles are flowing in a much better way. So currently we have this section where it'll have a nice fiery effect on our letter. We can have multiple particle systems on every part of our letter. So for example, on this stretch, on the top stretch, on the bottom stretch, so we can have some really cool effects with that, and we get more control over the fire and which part of the fire we actually want to burn in what fashion. So I'm going to go ahead to our FumeFx container, and I am going to add our third event and our fourth event, which is our delete. So what I can do is yeah, our radius seems actually fine. Let's make it about a bit less, to about 0.8. What we can do to have additional control is create another particle source, and in this particle source what we can do is we can add our events, or let's just add our source for now, since it covers both events, so we don't really need a separate one. So here we can have even more control. Say I want my particles, let me just turn the other ones off so we can have a clear look at this. So I can have only these particles to have a certain radius. So I can make this to 0.5. 0.5 looks good. So we'll have really nice small detailed fire flowing through this area, and we can have our majority big fire coming out from the vertices. So I don't want so much fuel. Let's make this to about 45. Let's only sim this part and see what we get. So our fuel is quite a lot. Let me also reduce the oxygen so our fire burns less. So as you can see, we have a really cool effect on this part. We'll have fire burning from this area where our particle is actually flowing from. Let me go ahead and render this out. Now what I don't like about this is this part. Let us do something about that. Now in our sim tab, what we can do is reduce our expansion to about 0.2. What this will do is our fire actually expands much less. So you can see it's reaching the goal and our particles are being deleted. We can have say our burn rate to be even slower, or let's actually say increase it to about 40. We want this to be burning much faster than our normal fire. which is our main fire, which is coming out from our areas which we saw before. So right here we have a really nice effect. I can go ahead and only for this part I can reduce the spacing even lower, let's say to about 0.4. Yep. So now what I can do is I can get this in with our previous particles. If I switch them on, I can have all of them rendered at the same time. Now we have only one FumeFx container out here. What we can actually do is create multiple FumeFx containers so we can get additional settings. From that, what I mean is, for example, if I go on my particle source 1, my burn rate for my particle source 1 and 2 will be the same. It was 40 there and it will be 40 here, since we are using only one FumeFx container. So if we use different FumeFx containers, we get additional control over our fire. Let's stop it right there and let's have a small render. This is looking nice. We have really cool fire coming out from our different parts, and we're getting a nice flow of the fire also in this part. So this is it for today. Here, as I said, we have a really nice effect. We can have this effect on many letters, on any letter, to be honest. Just as I did, we can duplicate the parts of our letter where we want the flow to be how we want it to be. So say I want, if there is a letter E and I want the flow of on the long rod to be from bottom to top, so I can duplicate it and only have that rod right there, and the fire can be flown very nicely if we use our find target, which I showed you all right here. It's a really powerful tool, and our lock bond as well. Even here, which we use lock and emitter, we didn't have to do that. We could switch this off and actually use our lock bond right here, so we can have our particles flowing in an even better way. We can play around with our force settings, say make it 30 or even less, and we can have our particles flowing nicely. So yep, that is it for today. I hope you learned something of value from this tutorial. Do leave a like and a comment on how you thought this tutorial to be, and or any further topics regarding FumeFx or on which you want a tutorial. Thank you, and I hope you have a great day.